Good evening, grinders. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully, your football team, if you're a fan, won their game today. I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. So they came back after getting beat down by their division rival, the Green Bay Packers. And there's a lesson in this. But they beat the bricks off the Chicago Bears. And the lesson is so Detroit Lions past couple of years have been doing pretty good. Now historically they've been terrible. Um, Pretty much my entire life they haven't really done much at all. They still haven't won a Super Bowl, but the past couple of years they've been doing pretty good. Haven't made it to the Super Bowl, but they have a good team. And they started off very shaky this year, and a lot of the talking heads on television were saying that the Detroit Lions were going to basically turn into a pumpkin again and or the whole Cinderella thing and go back to the old Detroit Lions. Well, it was just one game out of 18 games, one games out of entire regular season. And so the same thing applies to the stock market. We can have a bad week, but we still have to get back up, learn from any mistakes that we might have made, correct and adjust our strategies and move forward. A lot of people probably gave up in April when the stock market cratered, when Trump was talking about tariffs every single day. The people that ran away and sold all of their shares or just left the market probably did not take advantage or ride out that ride all the way up. And so, if you more than likely, depending on your investments, if you stuck through it and sell anything and held on, you probably would be ahead right now. So, stick to the script, stick to your game plan. Don't let one week sway your mind or bump you off course. This game is all about taking emotions out of it and being consistent. It's a long term investing. This is not a get rich quick scheme. But I did want to discuss some things that we need to look ahead for next week because we don't want to get caught up in a whole lot of mess if things turn sour. So we do have some data that is coming next week. I did want to hit on August U.S. retail sales. So this report is going to provide insight into consumer spending habits, which is a major driver of the U.S. economy. We are consumer economies. We spend, 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 and we want to ensure that people are still going out and not only spending for those necessities, but going out and going to the restaurants or doing things as far as entertainment and things of that nature. Stronger than expected retail sales could indicate economic resilience, while weaker sales might signal a slowdown. So the Fed is really, their job is to ensure that labor is at a certain level, but also to tame inflation. And so they have a very difficult job. But there's some data that came in recently saying that we're a lot of people out of work. A lot of people out of work, really, that means that they're not spending. If they're not spending, that means the economy is not um, functioning on full throttle. So it's important to watch this data and see what's going on, especially to what we're going to get to in just a moment. But we also have data on housing and industrial production data. Now, I didn't go into details in that because I did want to focus on the FOMC meeting September 17th through 18th. Now, we talked about that previously, and anybody who's anybody in the market knows that the Fed rate cut decision is looming next week. So the Federal Reserve's Monetary Policy Committee will meet and decide on interest rates. We will have a decision on whether or not we're going to have rate cuts next week. The market is pricing in, it's pretty much guaranteed in the market's eyes that we're going to get at least a 25 basis point cut. So we'll have to see what Chair Powell has to say, what the committee comes together and makes a decision to do. But more than likely, we will get a rate cut. So, alongside the rate decision, the Fed Chair Jerome Powell will provide further commentary and insight into the Fed's thinking, potentially creating significant market volatility. Now, he has been the last time he spoke, he kind of flipped the script and kind of alluded to some things are changing and some things are top of mind now and maybe weren't top of mind before. A little bit of deterioration. And so that trying to change the tune where he was saying the market is strong, the market is resilient. I still think he'll probably still have that same tone, but we want to listen to every word that he has to say and kind of piece it together to see if the market can move forward to keep hitting these new highs and keep moving higher throughout the rest of this year, or if there's any type of dialogue that says the market is slowing down and things are becoming a little suspect, or if he uses that R word, creeping back up about potential recession, then that could spook the market and we could be going lower and going lower fast. So just be mindful of that, especially if you're someone who's doing short-term trades. You definitely want to be mindful of what's happening with this Fed meeting. And then last point I wanted to discuss. So we discussed this in a previous video as well, but Meta Connect. So Meta's annual hardware event is expected to unveil new products, and we talked about those products such as the Ray-Ban glasses and new glasses that they are working on. New products primarily focusing on next generation smart glasses, as I just mentioned, and built-in displays and updates to AI initiatives. So it sounds like Meta and Mark Zuckerberg have really kind of going after Apple, and they see artificial intelligence, however, maybe not necessary in a cellular device, but in the glasses. Now, I do have some of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I don't use them every single day, but I enjoy them, listen to music. I can ask Meta, or I have Aquafina's voice. You can use Meta to help you answers just random questions, and it has great camera. Audio sounds good on it when you're listening to music and playing back videos. The camera is awesome. So definitely check them out and check out this Meta Connect event to see what Meta is working on as far as new hardware devices that could potentially in the future rival the iPhone. All right, hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. I will see you on Monday.